Hi, I think I'm live and I'm going to adjust my lights here real quick. See what oh, I like this color better. I have a circle light. You can see in my glasses. And I think I like this color the best. So one person is here. So hello, person. How's everybody tonight? Oh, we're down to 0 people. And before everybody gets started, we've kind of had a hi, Marguerite. How are you tonight? We had kind of an exciting weather week already. We'll talk about the weather till people come on. We had snow over the weekend, and the weatherman said the snow would be up near the Michigan, Indiana line. And I'm about an hour south of there. Well, we ended up Sunday morning, we had slush. And then Monday morning, we had about 2 inches of snow on the ground, and it was pretty nice. It was heavy snow, and it has melted since then. And then on let's see, today's Thursday, Tuesday and Wednesday evening, the northern lights were visible in Indiana. And I kept running outside. I had my little cell phone, and I was going out and checking the sky, and I couldn't see the northern lights. So Wednesday, they said the northern lights would be visible. So I drove out to the country, and we have a steel factory. Oh, I don't know how far away it is. It's a ways off. So I thought the lights that I saw was just from the steel factory, but I think I actually saw the northern lights. So that was kind of cool. So that's my weather update for the week. um Tonight's topic, I was watching a live news conference. I think her first name's Caroline, and I think her last name is Levitt, and she speaks for the president. And one person asked, President Trump had mentioned that he was going to give a $2,000 rebate, whatever, a $2,000 check for most Americans. And they asked Carolyn this, and she said, "Is this true?" And she said, "Yes, it is." And supposedly they're going through the legal channels to issue checks. And as soon as it's possible, they will announce it again. Oh, Marguerite, you were folding laundry. I was just talking about the weather till people came online. We had snow over the weekend, and then Tuesday and Wednesday night, we could barely see the northern lights. So, so I was just warming up. So, anyways, supposedly we might get a $2,000 rebate check because the tariffs are coming in like we've never seen it before, quoting a certain president. And I thought, for the fun of it, if we did get a $2,000 check, what would we use it for? And so I decided I'd probably put it in the bank. I'm not very exciting, but I thought it was kind of a fun topic to talk about. Now, I don't know if if it's $2,000 per person or just $2,000 per household. I don't really know what the parameters are. But anyways, being retired now, $2,000 is a larger amount than when I was working. See, Marguerite said it's per person. And AJ Wells, I agree with you, AJ Wells. I'll believe it when I see it. And so who's Kathy Mills? Are you AJ Wells? Oh, there's 2 people here. Kathy Mills, she's pulling the trash and starting laundry. Ah, you're multitasking. And Marguerite thinks we'll get a check, and AJ Wells, she's laughing. So AJ, do you have a first name that you like to go by? Or shall we just call you AJ? I try when people come on, I try to write down their names so I'll remember who they are. And if you don't mind, what part of the world you're from, like AJ, you're a male. Have you been online before? Yes. Are you in Placid Lake? Your name threw me. And AJ, since you're in Placid, you're in upstate New York. Okay. Did you get snow over the weekend? We got some here in Indiana, and I was kind of surprised to see it. Wasn't ready for it. And then I think last Thursday was really nice. I raked leaves. And then I got cold over the weekend, and now today was pretty nice. It was in the mid 50s. I think it'll be about 60 again tomorrow. So our weather's crazy right now. Kathy Mills, if she gets her $2,000 check, it would go towards her 2026 cruises. Do you have one in mind that you're going on already, or is that a wish list? And AJ, you got 6 inches. I was watching Ryan Hall, y'all, and he gives forecasts, and he's saying north of Interstate 80, which we don't even have an Interstate 80 in Indiana, but it goes across the country this way. But he says north of Interstate 80, people will get more snow this winter. That's the projected forecast. And Kathy, oh, Marguerite's asking if Kathy's been on a cruise. Oh, Catherine, you're not late. You're just on time. AJ Wells says he'd buy a new recliner and he's putting the rest in the bank. Ooh, Kathy has already booked a cruise to Aruba, Bon Air, and I don't know the last name, the last country, Cruco. It sounds exciting. Have you been on a cruise before, Catherine? I mean, Kathy. I've never been on a cruise. I'm not sure I want to go on one, but everybody I've talked to that have been on a cruise say it's exciting, that they really enjoy it. Sacred Wonders. Hi, how are you tonight? She's gonna tithe and save her with the 2,000. And Sacred, you've been here. Your name's Tina, right? And Catherine's never been on a cruise, but she would go on a short one. There's one thing I've always wanted to do, and you are Tina. Okay. Um, I can't, I'm not sure I can pronounce the name correctly. There's a train ride in Canada that I've always wanted to go. It starts with an A, iguana. Iguana's not the right name, but something like that in the fall. And that's something I've always kind of dreamed about going on. But the problem is, it leaves like at 8 in the morning, and I don't know if I might sleep in. I might be too excited to sleep in. And so yeah, if we get the 2,000, Marguerite's not a good train rider. I've never really been on a train. Um, I've been on kiddie trains. Oh, and Kathy's also going for 26 days in the fall around the British Isles. Oh my gosh. And then to Norway, Iceland, and back to New York. Wow. Now that sounds like an amazing cruise. So you'll have to tell us when you get back how you liked them. That's really cool. Marguerite says her cousin and her husband have been away on many cruises too. Her husband is retired Navy. And I think too, I'm single, so I'm not sure I'd want to go by myself. But I suppose there's cabins for one. And Kathy, I don't remember. Are you already retired? I'm not sure if I have you written down or not. Here, I have my cheat sheet. Kathy. I don't have you written down. Um, I've started a challenge for myself. I'm not sure if I get it done or not. I brought it with me. You guys have seen this before. It's a monstrosity. I am knitting my grandson a blanket. And I am a great procrastinator. This is the front side of it. And I got out a chart this week. To finish it, I need 120 blocks, each color. Each color is a block. Oh, everything's backwards here. So when I did my chart, I had 76. I had 76 blocks done, and I had 74 to go. So I did some math. I want to have it done by Thanksgiving. I'm not sure I'll get it done, but I keep telling myself if I push myself, I can do this. So I need to knit 3 blocks a day to get it done. So that's kind of been my challenge for November. See, Kathy Mills, she cruises by herself in the fall. Oh, but as a part of a larger group. Oh, that would be kind of fun. And then Sacred Wonders, who is Tina. She went to Bermuda. I can't say Bermuda once, and she would never go again. Yeah, it's been a fun knit. It's harder than I thought it would be. This is 23 stitches across, and then I knit it for 30 rows, and then at the end of every other row, you do a special stitch to connect the two. And sometimes, I hate to say more often than not, I'm not quite paying attention, I make a mistake. So then I gotta rip it back. I was on a boat once. I was up in the UP of Michigan, and I like to look at lighthouses. And anyways, there was this lighthouse on an island called Drummond Island. So to get there, you had to take a ferry boat. So I get in my car and I'm sitting in the car, and the ship's going up and down and up and down. And I got seasick sitting in my car. I couldn't wait to get on the land, and I did not find the lighthouse. Turned out it was a beacon somewhere, and I didn't find it. But I walked around the island. It was a pretty big island. There was an Indian reservation there, I think. And I went into well, there was a little history store, not really a museum, but you could look at local artifacts and stuff. So I could not wait to get back in my car. On the way back, I looked straight ahead. I didn't look at the boat tipping up and down, and I was fine getting out, but I don't think I'd make it on a cruise boat too well. And Marguerite, yes, the boys, his older brother, I made him an Afghan too for college, and I have Afghans around the house, so they like cuddling up under them when they were little. So I do ask before I make such a big project, because if they're not going to use it, I'm not going to make it, because you do put a lot of time into it. But sometimes I overpromise things, and then I kinda regret it towards the end. I do love making them, but to be honest, I've kind of procrastinating when it was hot out. I didn't feel like working on a blanket, and now it's like, "You gotta get this done." And Kathy likes lighthouses too. She's visited several from the Outer Banks to St. Augustine, and I don't know where that is. I've heard of the Outer Banks, but can you tell us where they are? In Marguerite, yes, I have a couple books of the lighthouses all along the Great Lakes, and that's kind of one of my dreams. There's a Lake Michigan Circle Tour. I'm sure there's one up in for Lake Superior and Lake Huron too. I just haven't done them yet. And I've been to quite a few. I have a book, and when I go to a lighthouse, I mark the date. And Tina says you have many handmade blankets donated to their church at their yard sale. Okay, the Outer Banks is in north. Oh my gosh. North Carolina coast down to St. Augustine in Florida. Okay, I knew it was a coastline, but couldn't quite place where they were. Do I drink wine? You know, I celebrated my birthday over the weekend and I bought myself a bottle of wine. And the last time I had wine was probably Thanksgiving dinner last year. So I don't drink wine very much. In fact, the bottle I bought, I think it has 5 servings, and I drank a glass. I think I've drank a glass 3 nights in a row, and I've just forgotten about it. So how was my birthday? My birthday was nice. My son, well, I baked a cake and I did a video of me baking my cake. And my philosophy was if you bake the cake, they will come. And my daughter was under the weather. I knew she wouldn't be coming. She gets sinus infections, and so do I. And so my son came over, and he has multiple children. I try to stay generic. I want to keep my family private. So they came over and we just talked and laughed, and that's my idea of having a fun evening. And the funny part is I was so proud of myself. I've been decluttering my house, and the spare bedroom was the toy rooms. So I bagged up some toys and I put them in the garage, and I was telling my son about it. And he said, "You didn't get rid of the big blocks, did you?" And I said, "Well, yeah, they're out in the garage." So I went out and got them. He has twin granddaughters that are 15, and they built towers with these preschool blocks. We were cracking up laughing. So the blocks are not going to Goodwill. I did try to get rid of some. I am getting rid of some of these. And Tina's talking about lighthouses, and Maine has 65 lighthouses. I hear Maine is a beautiful state too. And Marguerite says we have 129 lighthouses. So, yeah, Michigan's got quite a few. And then leisure, you have a name. I wrote it down. Oh, your name is Mary, right? Yeah, I'm getting old. Okay, your name is Mary. Well, hi Mary. Hope you're having a good day. And how are you? How are you doing? And lighthouses. Oh, you hope you're doing okay. I hope you're doing okay too. It's almost Friday. I don't know if any of you used to listen to Garrison Keeler with Lake Wobegon, and I kind of feel like he was up in Minnesota, right? So I should start off my Thursday podcast with "It's been a quiet week at Lake Wobegon." And Kathy, she visited a lighthouse in Maine on a cruise that stopped at the port of Portland, Maine. It's beautiful coastline. I've seen that. Well, I've seen pictures. And Marguerite says, "Happy Friday Eve." And Mary, Friday doesn't have the same meaning to you. Is it because you're retired or do you work on the weekends? Oh, Tina says you have a crazy governor in Maine. I think most states have crazy governors. Don't hear a whole lot about Maine. Marguerite says, yeah, every day is Saturday. And Mary is retired. So Saturday, Friday, Saturday doesn't mean a whole lot. And I do get kind of confused. What day is this when I wake up? I do not miss working. That is for sure. Oh, Catherine got a call. Well, I'm glad you came back. I called my mom earlier today and we ended up gabbing for 2 hours. So, family drama going on. Not going to go into detail, but every family's got it, right? So, I think we solved our problems. All we have to do is convince our family to do the same, right? What else was well, I was gonna talk about the what if we get $2,000 and cruises kind of came up as an option. And I have my fingers crossed. I've had a lot of dental work and I think I've got a tooth that's bothering me. So I made an appointment already and it hurt yesterday, but it hasn't today. So I'm hoping it's a false alarm. Or it could be my sinuses. You just never know. Oh, I got an interesting comment this morning. I haven't decided if she's being positive or negative, and I wrote it down. She was in reference to my last video about baking a birthday cake. And she sent me a link to a video, a channel, and it was Tim Rohn Motivation. And so I watched about 5 minutes of it, and it was about not telling people your secrets. And I thought, is she trying to give me advice, or is she thinking I need advice? I don't know. Oh, Kathy, you just retired 3 weeks ago. Okay, and you went on a 10-day cruise right away. Oh no. And now she's sitting every day at the hospital with her sister. I'm so sorry to hear that. Do you think she'll be okay? Um, it's tough when you have a sibling that's sick. So you've gone from the ultimate retirement vacation to dealing with reality, and that's kind of tough. I've lost two brothers. My one brother died in 1992. He had cancer. He was young. And my other brother died a year ago. And I'm the oldest. You always think that the oldest will go first. So yeah, sorry to hear about your sister, Kathy. And it's just one of those things. One of those things that I'm glad you're there to be with her. Um, I'm going to write that down. And I will put her in my prayers. Kathy Mills. had a stroke. Oh, she already had MS, but the stroke made her unable to bear weight or transfer or feel her bladder. Oh my goodness. Worst to me is she's very confused. Praying time will heal all, for sure. And I guess one hopeful thing is modern medicine keeps coming up with better and better treatments. So I'm hoping that they can use the latest and greatest to help your sister along. Now, MS, that's a muscle illness that it doesn't get any better. I'm not up on medicine, I'm sorry. But I do have empathy for people that are undergoing this would be a chronic situation, long term if she has MS. How old is your sister, Kathy? Um, I have run out of things to say. I will think of something shortly, I'm sure. Oh, she's 64, so she still could she still could have a few good years left. She's that her MS has left her weak side very weak, and that's not good. Tina says there is a prediction of warmer than normal temperatures coming in the middle part of the country. Well, actually, here in Indiana, today was 53, and tomorrow I think is going to be a little bit warmer. Oh, Kathy says the left side of her sister's body is very weak. That's my good side. I'm left-handed. It's hard to lose. Um, it's just difficult, and I think our bodies are somewhat miraculous. They can the other side jumps in and becomes stronger. So I hope that's the case for your sister. And who knows what the weather's gonna bring. Catherine's back. Lefties rule. Yes, we do. We try anyways. Oh, so since there's a few more people here, did any of you get to see the northern lights the last couple of nights? I looked outside and I didn't see any, but Facebook was kind of cool because everybody was posting their pictures. So I thought that was neat to see that. And AJ said no. Oh, and you're up near you're in northern New York. Tina says the wind chill is 35 degrees and it was cloudy there. We had Tuesday night, the clouds were, you could see some stars and some clouds, so it was a mixed bag. But last night was clear. And Kathy, you've got another prayer warrior for your sister. So I'm sure God hears all our prayers for your sister. I do believe in prayer. Let's see. So Thanksgiving is 2 weeks away, I think. And do any of you have plans for Thanksgiving? We usually go to my son's house. He likes to deep fry the turkey, and I don't know if any of you have ever had a deep fried turkey, but they are really good, and we like eating them. I'm the pie person. I make pecan pie and pumpkin pie, and I usually make an apple pie too. And AJ's going to your parents. And Catherine, she Her husband is a vegetarian, and she's not cooking a turkey just for her. So I guess you could have all the sides, the stuffing and the yams or sweet potatoes. Maybe Catherine, you could get a couple slices of ham for you. Um, I wonder, I don't know if I would miss not eating meat. I don't eat a whole lot of it, but I think I would miss it after a while. And my son, I think he has 6 acres of land, and they bought 4 turkeys, little turkeys. Are they called pullets? I'm not sure. So they bought 4 little turkeys, and one died, and they have three, and they just went to freezer camp. And my son said 2 of the turkeys are too big to put into the deep fryer. So the littlest one's going in the deep fryer, and he's going to try and cut one turkey in half and maybe deep fry half of it. And Marguerite, she's a single she's a single vegetarian who hates yams and sweet potatoes. I don't like them either. And Catherine says they've gone to a restaurant before just down the road, and she may go to that. And Sacred Wonders in Maine, what do you do for exercises? I have been retired for 2 years and I'm not as active, and I am terrible about exercising, which is why I have a small garden. um, I guess for exercising, you should do what you enjoy doing. If you like walking, walking's a good exercise. I have tried going to the gym in the past, and I see all these very fit people, and then I look at my pudgy little body and I'm going, I'm too self-conscious. So do any of you have things you like to do for exercise? Kathy thanks us for the prayers, and she's looking forward to Thanksgiving at her younger son's house. She's not much of a cook, but usually bring the sweet potato casserole. Love the leftovers. I love the leftovers too. Catherine says leftovers are good, and she remembers eating turkey sandwiches. And Catherine also says, we've been walking. I need to walk farther though. And I live in a neighborhood, and we've had a warm fall, and actually November's been kind of warm. So I've been dragging myself outside and walk up and down the road. And once I get outside, I'm fine. It's just getting there. Marguerite, she does well. She walks between 1.5 and 2.5 miles every day. And it's good. I feel better when I'm outside, even if it's just puttering around the garden. Being out in nature energizes me, and I've heard a lot of people say the same thing. And Mary, who is leisure, she walks, and Mary says there's a turkey gobbler sandwich from Arby's. I don't eat out. If you say it's good, it must be good. And Kathy, she hopes to incorporate walking once she can settle into a retirement routine. And that's a good thing to do. Um, you really haven't had a chance to retire yet. You were took a cruise, and now you're being spending time with your sister. So you'll get into a routine later. And I think for me, um, I've started doing um, kind of goals in the beginning, but they become habits and they become every day. There's a few things I like to do in the morning. I like to journal, and I have a devotional prayer I read every morning, and then I can get on with my day. I throw walking in there too, right? Oh, hi, Kentucky Life with Debbie. How are you? I watch you all the time, and I feel like you're a friend. And she's 74 and doesn't get much exercise, but you're in good health. And you look like you're in good health. And you're looking toward spending Thanksgiving with your family. And you are thankful for all your blessings. So Catherine says, Mary, what did Mary do? Oh, she wants to get the turkey gobbler sandwich. And Marguerite, when she was in elementary school, we were asked what three things we would take to the moon. And I said, ham sandwiches, turkey sandwiches, and mom. Gotta take mom along. That's pretty cute. I like your answer, Marguerite. Gotta take mom along. Oh my gosh, that's too funny. When I was little, I remember the first spacewalk to the moon, and I remember it happening. I think I was still in elementary school, and they would roll in the big TVs on the carts, and probably still black and white back and then, and we watched the man walk on the moon. Marguerite says she has a terrible memory, but some things just stick. I remember when I was in the fourth or fifth grade, we had a math quiz, and we had to figure out how old we would be in the year 2000. And so I wrote down, well, my birthday's in November. So I figured out I would be 45 years old in the year 2000. And I thought, oh my gosh, that is such a horrible old age. My parents were still in their 30s when I was in the fourth or fifth grade. So I couldn't even imagine being alive in my 40s. And I've flown by that. And I don't remember being in my 40s. How about that? I am out of the loop. Oh, Sacred Wonders in Maine. I thought that was a joke about 50-year mortgages, but Trump is actually talking about that. And I think that's horrible. Yes, the president is floating the idea. And for those that are savvy with numbers, the interest you would pay on a 50-year mortgage is phenomenal. I didn't write down the numbers, but I was watching somebody the other day. I think if you bought a $300,000 house and had a 50-year mortgage, I think she said you would pay $700,000 in interest. Don't quote me on that, but that sounds about right. So, I don't remember mortgages being under 30 years, but I've heard older people say when they floated the 30-year mortgage, people were aghast. And Marguerite, yeah, if you had a 50-year mortgage, you could pay down on it, so you could pay it would be easier to pay off early because you're paying less. But I've learned from experience that if you have a lower mortgage, you tend to spend the money on other things. Life lessons right here. And I actually, on my home, I refinanced it about 10 years ago, and it was a good rate at the time. I had a 30-year mortgage, and I owed about 16 years on it. And I went with a 15-year mortgage, and it lowered my monthly payment, and I was, when I was still working, I was making extra payments, so my home will be paid off faster. Marguerite, I'm with you. I got out of credit card debt. Oh, it's been over 10 years now. And once I paid off those credit cards, I never looked back. And actually, um, I drove my last car. I had it for 19 years, and I know I've talked about it before, but I saved up and cash flowed so I could buy my current car, which it's 6 years old, and it's a Toyota Corolla. So I'm sure it may outlive me. Who knows? So I think if you're not retired yet, pay off all the debt you possibly can, and if possible, before you retire, buy a nice late model car, one that'll last you through retirement. Those are two pieces of advice I would give you. And Marguerite, a lot of people do this too. They put everything on one credit card and then they pay it off at the end of the month. And if you're disciplined, that's a good thing to do. But um, if you have trouble not paying off credit cards, that's kind of a bad idea. I know a lot of people use them for airline miles and you get points. I was using a Kroger credit card for a while and I would get lower gas prices at the gas pump. And I did that for quite a while, but this year they raised how much you had to spend before you could start getting the discount on the mileage. So I quit using the credit card. Margaret, good for you. You haven't paid any interest in years. You're wise. And yeah, I think the 50-year mortgage is a joke. I could see, I don't like it, but maybe jumping to a 40-year mortgage, but to go from 30 to 50, that's insane. Hi, Evie. Evie, how are you tonight? She's a small YouTube person and I watch her channel quite a bit. And yesterday, I'm trying to think here. Oh, you made your chili recipe. That was good. And then was it today you went to Michael's and bought a bunch of yarn because your store was closing and moving down the street? Did you figure out what you're going to do with the yarn yet? Yeah, the long-term mortgage, maybe it's better than perpetually paying rent. Yeah, that might be a good thought. And you're right, AJ Wells. The only one who benefits from long-term mortgages are the banks. Okay, Evie, she bought her yarn yesterday. She bought, what was it, 70 skeins of yarn? I would be in yarn heaven. Oh, and I was going to tell you, Evie, the yarn, I wonder if it would be easier to crochet with a plastic hook versus a metal hook. Because sometimes I find metal hard to work with when I'm working with yarn when I knit. And are you still here, Debbie? Kentucky Home with Debbie? I saw you pop in. Speaking of fun stuff, Debbie was making these cute little bird decorations. She used colorful paper and was making kind of like origami, and they were pretty cute. AJ Wells, you are right. People need to lower their standards and buy what they can afford. Most people don't need a 4,000 square foot house. And I've been watching some things on YouTube. I watch a lot of YouTube. And there's this it's a quit spending phenomenon going around, and I'm not sure. I think the premise for that is the corporations are making more and more money and selling cheaper and cheaper stuff, so they're stopping buying things. And I don't buy as much as I used to. It's because I already have too much stuff. And Catherine says they watch YouTube all day long. Well, some of it's really informative and some of it is junk. It depends on your perspective. I try to do a mix. And Mary hasn't seen the cheaper stuff, but yeah, she doesn't need any more. And I think it's true. A couple weeks ago, I thought my washing machine was going. And it turned out I stuffed it too much. I put too many clothes in it. And people were talking about washing machines not lasting as long as they used to, which I was kind of surprised. Marguerite's become almost a minimalist. And I'm not sure I could ever be a minimalist, but I'm getting closer. I just, material things don't, they just don't do it for me anymore. Abby says all the newer clothes she buys ends up in the dryer vent. Is that where they go? Abby says some of the new washers don't use enough water. Oh, my washer's, I think it's 26 years old, so I've got the old-fashioned kind. I have no idea. I look at my kids' washing machines and their front loaders, and it's kind of like graduating from a flip phone to a cell phone. I'm behind the times. Catherine says she's almost there. She's gotten rid of a lot of her clothes, hubby and his books, and he wants to hang on to them. Evie says they get thin really fast. Marguerite says, how have they changed? Well, my daughter has a top loading washing machine. It doesn't have the agitator in the middle. I have no idea how it works. Kathy says she replaced the dryer once, but the washer is the original to the house, so it's over 32 years old. It has an agitator and still does the trick. I I've lived alone ever since I bought my washer, so I'm pretty gentle with the clothes. When my son lived at home, he worked in a mechanic shop and he had this big heavy jacket. It would get filthy. I would wash it weekly, and so that took quite a load on the washer. And I bought that washer died a few months before he moved out. He got married and he left home. Let's see. I've lost track of things here. Marguerite Medical Services. Sacred Wonders, who is married. Oh, the biggest surprise. Oh, the biggest surprise I've seen lately is how much medical services have changed, or is it just here in Maine? That's a good question. I think I hear people complain about how everything costs more these days. In fact, my auto insurance is going up 15% in December, and I called, and that was the top thing they talked about. They said medical costs have gone up, and so have the cost of replacing or repairing a car. And then our president talked about this wonder drug. Oh, it starts with an O. Opensic, to help lose weight. They were gonna lower the cost of that prescription. And my thought is, We need to lower drug costs for a lot of things. Did I talk to an agent? Well, I'm with a major company and I talked to the agent and they just kind of the phone was ringing off the hook and she was just reading a little script. So what I'm doing is I have an independent agent that I go to for my Medicare. And when I was in her office last week, I asked about it and she said to contact the office after December 7th and they do auto and home insurance. So, I've had the same insurance company since I was 18 years old, but the interest rates, the interest rates, the payments, they're getting out there. It's outrageous. And I've been a customer all these years. And Catherine says there's bad side effects on that drug. And I don't know why. I think there's so much chaos going on in the government right now. They just threw in this drug will help everybody just to make everybody feel better. But I've heard bad stuff about it too. There's a lady on YouTube that I watch sometimes, and she tried that drug and it didn't help her at all. She went off of it. AJ Wells switched car insurance companies to save money. My car sits in the garage most of the time, so I'm not too much of a risk. And Catherine says they watch a YouTuber in New York, and he said medical costs are bad there too. Marguerite says her brother was with AAA for decades, and he saved over $1,000 a year by going to her agent. So it doesn't hurt to look. Um, I know when my internet service provider, I think I have a 2-year contract this year, and when the when the last contract ended, you got to call and you talk them down. I talked them down quite a bit this time, but it's kind of aggravating. If you don't make the phone call, your rates keep going up and up and up. And I'm guessing homeowners and auto insurance is the same thing. If they keep raising the rates, we're going to go elsewhere. And Mary said she got a new roof and asked the home insurance company if my bill would go down. They said my home insurance might go up, not down, because the new roof makes my house more expensive. Oh, because it's worth more. Well, Marguerite's got to go, and I'm glad you stopped by. And I hope you have a good week next week. I'll be here next Thursday night, but in 2 Thursdays is Thanksgiving, so I won't be here that on Thanksgiving evening. And I'm probably missing a little bit. There's I'm getting more traffic here. It's hard to keep up with all the comments. So yeah, everything keeps going up but my paycheck, right? I went to my um, independent agent. She helps people decide what Medicaid insurance is best for you. And I was a little concerned. I was pleasantly surprised. My I take 3 prescriptions. They won't change. I don't pay anything on all 3 of them. And the basics didn't change a whole lot, so I was kind of glad about that. I was a little worried. um, I know I watch a few channels about talking about retiring before you're 65 and buying health insurance. And that was one of the main reasons I stayed working till I was 65 is because I didn't think I could afford private insurance. So it's almost 8 o'clock. Um, Do we have any more topics we want to talk about? I talked about dreaming what we would do if we get $2,000, and oh yeah, Evie, thanks for reminding people to hit the like button. But I think most people, if they had 2,000 extra dollars, they would take a cruise or put it in the bank. I like both ideas. Hit like friends. One other thing I wanted to mention, Catherine needs to go too. I'm glad you stopped by. I am monetized now, which is yay. And I monetized the live chats for 2 weeks. And Marguerite, she already left. She helps she helps me out a little bit. But I decided I wanted to go ad free while we talk every Thursday night. So I have unmonetized my Thursday channel for lives. Good night, Catherine. Let's see if I've missed anything here. Marguerite's leaving. And Catherine's leaving too. She hasn't eaten and she's going to have soup. It is soup season. Well, thank you, Evie. Um, I do this mainly as a hobby, and to be honest, I make between 50 cents and $1 a day. So it's not a get quick rich scheme. And I'm not really out there to make a lot of money. I just enjoy talking about retirement, and I'm enjoying talking on Thursday nights. It's kind of fun. So, Evie, you're down south somewhere. She says it's 78. I want to say, I don't remember which state you live in, but are you in Georgia? I don't remember. And Kathy, she just enjoyed eating some black bean soup from Panera Bread that's located in the hospital. Oh, Evie, you're in Texas. Okay. She's way south. And if some of you don't know who Evie is, she has a channel and she's retired and she's got a parrot. He's an interesting an interesting pet to have. He's beautiful. He's mostly green. If any of you've never been to her page or her channel. And Kathy's near Charlotte, North Carolina. Oh yeah, her parrot's name is Chloe. I love that name. And she purchased on Evie's shoulder. She was purchased on her shoulder and she was making chili the other day. And she's got a couple, are they bird stands? I don't know. Does does Chloe go in a cage at night? Evie calls her guest star. Oh, when she flew into the end of the video. There's another channel I kind of like watching. It's the oh gosh, she's got an orange door. Is that the name of her channel? That doesn't sound right. But she's got a dog. It's kind of a poodle dog, and the dog's name is Brecky, and he's adorable. Tangerine Door, yes. I knew it was orange, but her dog is so cute. I love that dog, and I don't like dogs, but he looks like she's got a love seat or something, and he just wraps his little body around his neck and puts his head on her shoulder, and oh, it's just so cute. So Evie says Chloe goes and she puts herself to bed every night in her cage. That's so sweet. Does she so she must come out when she wants. They are housemates. Now, do you just have the one bird? My grandpa had um, parakeets when he was alive. Oh, Evie locks her in at night, and then she lets him out in the morning. So I have the outside birds. I have a bird feeder. I bought my house 30 years ago. I bought it. It was a spec home. It was new. And I planted 3 trees at the back of my yard. And that's next to buying the house. That was probably the best investment I ever made. I planted these 3 trees out there, and I've got the bird feeder a few feet away from the trees. And every morning the birds flock into the bird feeder, and they it's kind of fun watching them. They sit on the branches of the tree, and they just kind of take their turns. They eat a little bit, then the next one flies on. And Evie has a parakeet, and she's really old and doesn't fly well anymore. How long have you had her, Evie? And oh, my birds. Oh, you've had her 8 years. That's almost as long as having a cat or a dog. But my birds, I've noticed there's a red-tailed hawk that's been hanging out lately. So I'm not too happy to see that. Abby says they live 6 to 10 years. Oh, this morning, I forgot. I was coming home from Bible study, and I saw a bald eagle in a tree on the way home. And I did a double take. I thought, surely I didn't see a bald eagle. So I turned around at the next stoplight, and I went back and looked, and sure enough, there was a bald eagle. And we don't have too many here in Indiana. And so we have some wetlands, and they reintroduced eagles. It's probably been about 20 years now. And other than going out to nature areas, I've never seen a bald eagle kind of out in the public. And this eagle was in a tree that was overlooking a little pond at a golf course. Yeah, Kathy, I have some friendly birds. Actually, I have a red-breasted woodpecker, and when he comes around, they all scatter. He makes noises. If I'm out in the yard, he'll kind of cluck cluck or at me till I go inside because he doesn't want to eat food in front of me. But yeah, the cardinals are not nice to smaller ones. And in the spring, we get the red-winged blackbirds, and they're pretty aggressive too. But I enjoy the birds. They're low maintenance. I um I have a lot of allergies, so I've never owned a cat or a dog. So I enjoy watching the birds. And like this time of the year, I've got a lot of brown-eyed juncos, which I don't see very often. And what else? I had one other bird. I forget the name now. Oh, and my neighbor has a bluebird birdhouse, and I have a bluebird. He hits my patio door all the time, so I have to close my curtains. I feel kind of bad for him. I can't believe that a bird would keep running into a patio door or window and not say, duh, I can't get through this, but he hits it over and over and over. It's just kind of fun watching the birds. And so I have the red-breasted woodpecker. He's pretty. He comes all the time. And then I have a downy woodpecker. I have to look him up in the book. But I have all kinds of finches and sparrows, and And in the early spring, I have robins come to the bird feeder. So evidently they get hungry that time of the year. Kathy has a feeder and bird bath right outside the living room window so she can watch from her recliner, but her cat Charlie jumps at the window and scares them all away. My daughter has cats, and she's got ledges that they can sit on, and they watch the bird feeders. They love watching the birds too. Entertainment for them. But now that I'm retired, I really enjoy nature much. I don't get out a whole lot, but I enjoy my little garden and I enjoy watching the birds. And in the summertime, I raise monarch butterflies. So that's kind of a hobby I have. And I didn't buy, I got milkweed plants. Let me think. There's swamp milkweed and common. So I bought the swamp milkweed plant. I got the swamp milkweed plants for free from a local nature preserve. And they slowly multiply. And I got, oh, it's about 6 or 7 feet long. I had a nice bunch of swamp milkweed plants, and I was raising about 50 monarch butterflies a year. I find the eggs and I bring them in and raise them. Well, 3 years ago, a rabbit came along and he ate all my swamp. He didn't eat them. He just chopped them about 3 feet off 3 inches off the ground. I was devastated. I thought of all the plants I have in my yard. They had to eat the swamp milkweed plants. So I've got this past summer I had 3 that came back. And then I have some common milkweed that's starting to divide. So this year I only had 5 eggs that I collected. So I kind of miss my monarch butterflies. Um, and when I was working, it was kind of a cool ministry. I would bring when the caterpillars form their chrysalis, I would put them in. I would save Parmesan cheese jars, and I would hang the chrysalis from a piece of string, and I took them into work. And there were people that gave them to friends, and there was one lady, it was kind of a cool story. She was battling cancer, and I guess the life cycle of a butterfly is spiritual. I didn't really know that, but watching the chrysalis turn to a butterfly gave her hope, and that was kind of cool to learn. And then I've got neighbors who homeschool, so I would take over their chrysalises. And one year the neighbors have a boy and a girl, and the boy named his chrysalis Dark Vader. I'm not saying it, Darth Vader. And the little girl, I forget the name of hers. Darth Vader got to me. The little girl had a girly name for it. That's been kind of cool thing I've done. And Kathy Mills says they're fluttering dreams butterfly. They are in Florida. So as far as the butterflies, I never touch the caterpillars. They look too much like worms. Isn't that awful? So, but yeah, I enjoy raising the monarch butterflies, and you know it. I've raised probably a couple hundred over the years, maybe even more than that. But as each one encloses, in fact, I have a shorts on that's in my stack of stuff in my YouTube channel, and it's exciting watching the birth of every butterfly come out of its chrysalis. It's just amazing how nature, how God created everything, and it just blows my mind. Well, I think I'm gonna call it a night here, and I'm seeing if there's anybody new. I really appreciate you guys stopping by and saying hi. And I haven't done as many YouTube videos lately. I'm kind of in a slump. Good night, Abby. So I think tomorrow I'm going to talk a little bit about budgeting. I haven't done that lately. And if any of you have any basic questions about budgeting, I'd be glad to answer them. I'm not a financial planner, but I am a retired accountant. Numbers are my thing, and I live on a fairly low budget. So if any of you have any questions or would like to have a live one time, let me know. Put it in the comments. And we will definitely be praying for Kathy Mills' sister who had a stroke, and we'll definitely be praying for her. And I hope everybody has a good rest of the weekend, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.